History is full of rulers who conquered through bloodshed, who built their legacies on war and cruelty. But every so often, a leader emerges, one who wields power not just with the sword, but with wisdom, diplomacy, and vision. A ruler who commands not through fear, but through loyalty and love. In the 12th century, at the height of Georgia's golden age, such a ruler ascended the throne, a woman who defied the expectations of her time and forged an empire that stretched from the Black Sea to the Caspian. Her name was Tamar, queen, warrior, legend. She was not a mere figurehead. She led armies into battle, she defied invaders, expanded her kingdom, and ruled with a strength that made her one of the most powerful monarchs of medieval Europe and Asia. And yet, her story remains lesser known beyond her homeland. Tonight we bring her story to life through the art, the landscapes, and the epic struggles that defined her reign. Step into the world of Queen Tamar, the woman who built a kingdom and became immortalized as the King of Kings. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
Before Queen Tamar's rule, the Kingdom of Georgia had already been on the rise under her grandfather David IV, the Builder, who laid the foundation for a strong and unified Georgian state. By the 12th century, Georgia had become a powerful Christian kingdom in the Caucasus, strategically located between the Byzantine Empire and the Muslim states of the Middle East. It was a land of mountain fortresses, bustling trade routes, and a thriving cultural scene blending Eastern and Western influences. Tamar was born around 1160 CE, the daughter of King George III and Queen Berdukan. When her father died in 1184, she was crowned co-ruler during his lifetime, a move meant to solidify her position. However, once he passed, her rule was challenged by nobles who were reluctant to accept a woman as their supreme ruler. Tamar, however, proved to be not just a ruler, but a warrior queen, diplomat, and strategist who reshaped the kingdom. Despite initial resistance from the aristocracy, Tamar asserted her power by carefully navigating court politics. She dismissed corrupt officials and placed loyal, capable leaders in key positions. She took the title Mepe, king, instead of just queen, emphasizing her absolute rule. Her first marriage, arranged to appease her nobles, was to Yuri Bogolyubsky, a Russia's prince. However, he proved to be cruel and incompetent, and Tamar swiftly divorced and exiled him, a radical move for a woman of her time. She later married David Soslan, a capable Ossetian prince who became her trusted military commander. Tamar's reign saw Georgia at its greatest territorial extent. Under her rule, the kingdom waged successful military campaigns against the Seljuk Turks, the Byzantines, and Muslim emirates. Some of her greatest victories include the Battle of Shamkor. Tamar's army, led by David Soslan, crushed the forces of the Eldeguzids of Azerbaijan, securing Christian dominance in the Caucasus. The Siege of Kars, 1203. Tamar's forces captured the fortress of Kars, pushing Georgia's influence into Anatolia. The conquest of Trebizond, 1204. When the Crusaders sacked Constantinople, Tamar backed Alexios and David Komnenos, exiled Byzantine princes, to establish the Empire of Trebizond, effectively making it a Georgian satellite state. Tamar's rule was not just about military might. She patronized the arts, literature, and architecture, creating a golden age for Georgia. The famous poet Shota Rustaveli wrote The Knight in the Panther's Skin, one of the greatest works of medieval Georgian literature, dedicated to Queen Tamar. Under her reign, monasteries flourished, churches were built, and trade routes expanded, making Georgia a prosperous kingdom. Tamar's rule was one of power, faith, and expansion, securing Georgia's position as the dominant force in the Caucasus. She was canonized as a saint by the Georgian Orthodox Church, and her memory remains deeply embedded in Georgian national identity. After her death in 1213, Her kingdom would eventually face challenges from Mongol invasions, but her reign remains the pinnacle of Georgian medieval history.
Centuries have passed since Tamar walked these halls, since her warriors rode into battle beneath her banner. Yet her presence lingers in the monasteries she built, in the poetry written in her honor, in the very identity of Georgia itself. Unlike so many rulers who relied on force and fear, Tamar's power came from unity. She was not just a queen, she was a protector of her people, a visionary, a woman who defied the limits of her time. And in doing so, she became something more than a ruler. She became a legend. Perhaps history does not always give its greatest leaders the recognition they deserve, but legends are never truly forgotten.